Tom, do you have anything you're going to set up, or you just need your pencil and pad? Tom? You good? Okay. We'll call the special meeting on Sunday, March 22nd, 2020 at 11 a.m. Come to order. Call the roll, please.
Alderman Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf.
Here.
Lukosius.
Here.
Radke.
Here.
Sapienza.
Here.
Hayton.
Here.
Ballard.
Here.
Buffo. Here. Mayor Harrell.
Here. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. One item that we have in front of us today, we have a resolution providing for the temporary changes to staffing requirements of City of Peru employees due to COVID-19, and then we'll have a resolution establishing a relief fund for the benefit of Peru residents affected by the impact of COVID-19. There's been some questions on the timeline for the staffing. So the timeline for the 75% reduction in staff. Thursday, March 19, 2020, myself, do you two want to be that close together? Okay. Myself and staff assembled for Governor Pritzker's news conference at 14:30, also known as 2:30 p.m. scheduled time. News conference starts a little late, around 14:40, around there. Conference over at approximately 14:55. Discussion with staff and updates regarding one employee recently back from vacation and working from home with VPN, which is Virtual Private Network. Computer connected to City Hall, and 2 City Hall employees called in with fever and they're off sick. Further discussion with staff concerning the angst among their employees, and after further discussion and knowing the inevitable, I made the decision to send employees home with pay. Basically, on call for the protection of not only our employees, but for our residents. Some are able to work remotely with computers in their home, and some are on call since the need should arise. We already have issued safe personal workspace for everyone, which is extremely difficult in some situations. Example, water break, 2 men in an excavation fixing the break, electric outage with 2 men in a bucket. These situations you can modify, work them out, and our people have been doing a very good job of that. With that being said, the obvious, it was coming like a freight train. It just didn't happen at the Governor Pritzker press conference on Thursday, 19 March. With staff being 100% behind the decision to change the way we handle daily duties for our employees and residents, I made the decision to reduce the staff by 75%. That was at 15:15, also known as 3:15. Everyone from their respective departments went to work and drafted memos and press release. Memos were put together with multiple edits and sent to elected and staff via email and some with paper at 16:38, 4:38. The time from the order was issued until everyone had this was 1 hour and 23 minutes. Quite frankly, I'm proud of the staffs for working so diligently to put this important release together in this short amount of time. This past week was filled with decisions to be made, and that will not subside anytime soon. More will arise and must be dealt with. As you can imagine, I have received many phone calls and talked with many regarding this situation that is in front of us. I am in contact with many mayoral colleagues from across the state to monitor their situation, and them ours. The only difference in the City of Peru, its mayor and staff, did on Thursday, 19 March, was going to the reduction with pay 24 hours before many other communities. We should be proud of that. As previously mentioned, many meetings took place the week of March 16th, and I know many more will take place the week of March 23rd, if we make it through today. I took many calls, some good, some not so good. I have 2 that were like none other. The good news for me is I now have clarity of the character of those 2 individuals. Thank you. I have been in contact with the owners of GK Mall in Peru and given permission to use burdeners and pennies to be prepared for any contingencies. I have been in contact with the Kmart/Sears corporate real estate and have gained full access to their facility on the south end of Peru Mall as well. One meeting that sticks out from the past week was this summary in terms everyone can understand. This requires a little thought. I have a pond that will be completely covered with lily pads in 14 days. What day will the pond be half covered? The Governor Pritzker News Conference on Tuesday, 17 March, Illinois had confirmed 105 COVID-19 cases. Governor Pritzker News Conference on Saturday, 21 March, Illinois had confirmed 753 cases of COVID-19. Remember the lily pads? The answer is 13. This virus multiplies 2 to 1. Please stay safe and practice social distance. Wash your hands and wipe down surfaces regularly. Be kind to those around you and practice good, responsible, safe habits. On Monday, 23 March, Peru will comply with the state order given to shut down all playground equipment. You can still use parks to walk and enjoy the fresh air, but not the playground equipment due to the surface spread of COVID-19. The City of Peru Police and Fire, under direction of Fire Chief Jeff King and Police Chief Doug Burnaby, has set up the EOC, Emergency Operations Center, which they will discuss a little bit later, in the Ron Wren Community Room. We hope and pray this will not be needed, but we are ready. At this time, any questions for me or staff would be welcome.
Mayor, the reduction in staff, is that going to be on a rotating basis for the employees, or how did you set that up?
As I said in here, everything is moving so fast and furious. The way that it started, but it may not stay that way, was those that are regularly on call. They will be the staff that is in the buildings, meaning the electric building. We do have 3 employees in electric and 2 employees in public works that will be working. The 3 employees in electric is because we couldn't abandon our hydroelectric facility. So we do have 1 person there. That's a 1-person operation, and he's in contact. We have cameras, in case anything happens out there. But we weren't concerned about the personal space, the spread of the COVID-19. Everybody is ready to be called in at a moment's notice. Chief King had to put in a call on Friday to one of his people. The person was here within 10 minutes to do the job that Chief King needed. As I said, they're talking snow coming in. We don't know how heavy it's going to be. Hopefully it'll be light. Hopefully it'll melt on contact. It may not. We don't know. They will be in however many Chief King decides he needs for the shutting down of the playground equipment. And once again, I want to make sure everybody is aware that that's a state order. It's a good one with the spread, because nobody knows exactly how this virus spreads. The best case scenario is that it only spreads through droplets, but they don't know. You touch something, if you have it, you touch it later, we don't know. And everybody's working at it at a much different level than what we're at right now. So you do the best you can and go on from there. I'm very happy with the conversation that I had with the GK Mall and also the Sears. Everybody was extremely cooperative, and they want to help. So is there any other questions right now?
What is the plan to maintain the clerk's office? We have to maintain billing, we have to maintain all those things that can't stop.
Right now, we have changed the hours from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., which kind of ties in with the directives on the other end of the building, the mayor's office, with personnel being available on this end from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We have the drive-through open for any sort of customer service questions. Somebody needs a document from the city. Even on Friday, we sent a building permit out for a fence through the drive-through at the clerk's office. Utility billing payments are coming through the drop box primarily, but we do get a lot of phone calls for phoning the orders in, and then also we have the ability to pay the utility bills online. At this time, we've waived the credit card processing fees, so there is no penalty, if you will, for any resident that wishes to pay the bill online. And sort of coincidentally, we've been mailing out in the last utility billing cycle an insert that provides a document that the residents could fill in to take the payment out electronically through their checking account. So we're just going to rotate the team that's down there. Obviously, the utility billing duties have to happen every day. We're going to have to do a deposit every day. And then the functions of the deputy city clerk will partly be done in office and partly remote. She has the ability to log into the 365 network remotely and the ability to take a flash drive home with minutes or agendas on it and update them from there. And then, of course, I'll rotate in and out as I have today and yesterday to post things on the website. So I think we got a pretty good handle on it, but the hours are going to be reduced.
And similar with bookkeeping and paying our vendors and that?
Bookkeeping, Justin can speak to. But on your end, Justin, that's an employee that's when not in the office, VPN.
Correct.
So they're still active.
We have electronic accounts payable, so even when we're not in the office, they are working on accounts payable from remotely.
Probably worth noting, on Friday, we set the directive in place initially, and things changed throughout the day. So in my case, I called somebody in the afternoon because of the phone traffic, so I called. Okay.
People are saying there's a microphone issue, Justin. They're having difficulty hearing.
Okay.
And I think if it gets better, they're going to tell us.
Okay.
Are they saying, can they hear me okay?
It became faint, so let me.
I don't know, was your microphone on, Clerk Bartley?
It's on.
Maybe you'll have to be a little, I don't know. 'Cause there were some that were calling in and texting before, and they could just hear general conversation just from that microphone.
They can't even hear you right now, so you might want to hold on until we can get that figured out. This is dispatch.
Okay.
Tell us what's going on.
Right now?
Check 1, 2. Hello, hello.
Okay, so Justin was better.
Hello, hello. Check.
How close are your mic?
Check. Sunday services. So on Friday, we had the occasion on both ends of the building where people were called in.
They're saying it's better now.
On my end, we had a lot of phone traffic that I was fielding myself along with bookkeeping, and I made a determination to call somebody in, so we did. And on the other end of the building, Eric's not here today, but he did actually end up calling in Eric Zabrowski to do some mapping for the command center, and Allie to do some other support work. So everybody that's not working, it's understood that if they get a call, they need to come in as needed. It's not a day off.
Well, you had an issue Friday as well, when phone calls started coming in and couldn't handle the load.
Right,
And you
that's what
called
I
and your
just said,
employee
yeah.
was here within about 8 minutes.
Yeah, no issues, so.
It was amazing to me when the decision was made and the department heads immediately went to their employees. I wasn't in Public Works, I wasn't in Electric, but I know the same thing happened that I saw happen in here, and nobody wanted to leave.
Yeah,
just
everybody stayed on Thursday to the close of business, and then we got a plan together, and everybody's been really accommodating.
Yeah, and I saw administrative assistants walking out of here with multiple office boxes full of work to do. A couple were back in on Friday to pick up more for their workload, so.
And ultimately, the directives that have gone through the governor's office and from the mayor here, residents are complying. It's not as if the phone is ringing as often as the traffic, the phone traffic, the automobile traffic. There's nobody coming in the building to drop off their bags or their bottle caps or ask questions or anything. So the amount of traffic around the municipal building is very much less than it normally is. So the decrease in personnel makes sense for that reason too.
Okay, what I'm going to do is read through the resolution for those who don't have it, or those that are watching on our brand new, which probably has a couple glitches in it, but it'll be worked out, and hopefully everybody's able to follow along. The first resolution is providing for temporary changes to staffing requirements of City of Peru employees due to COVID-19. Whereas the City of Peru is a home rule unit of government and pursuant to Article 7, Section 6A of the 1970 Constitution of the State of Illinois may exercise any power and perform any function pertaining to its government and affairs. Whereas in late 2019, a new and significant outbreak of coronavirus, COVID-19, emerged. Whereas COVID-19 is a novel, severe, acute respiratory illness that can spread among people through respiratory transmission and present with symptoms similar to those of influenza. Whereas this timeline, quite frankly, I don't understand it. Whereas on January 30, 2020, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak of COVID-19 as a public emergency of international concern. Whereas on January 31, the United States Health and Human Service Secretary declared public health emergency. On March 9th, 2020, the Governor of the State of Illinois issued a disaster proclamation due to the impact of COVID-19. And on March 11th, World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a world pandemic. On March 13, President Trump declared the COVID-19 virus a national emergency. On March 13, the Governor of the State of Illinois canceled all public and private gatherings of 1,000 or more people through the state of Illinois for the duration of the gubernatorial disaster proclamation, and ordered all public and private K through 12 schools in Illinois to close through March 30, 2020. Whereas on March 16, 2020, the Governor of the State of Illinois ordered all businesses in the state of Illinois to suspend service of food, beverage for on-premise consumption, and further prohibited all public and private gatherings of 50 or more people throughout the state of Illinois for the duration of the disaster proclamation. On March 19th, the LaSalle County Health Department announced the first case of LaSalle County resident testing positive for COVID-19. On March 20, the Governor of the State of Illinois issued a stay-at-home Executive Order 2020/10 effective March 21 at 5 o'clock, which was Saturday night at 5 o'clock, for the remainder of the duration of the proclamation. Whereas despite efforts to contain COVID-19, the World Health Organization and the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have declared that it is expected to spread. To prevent of the further spread of COVID-19, multiple state and federal agencies recommend mitigation measures, including practicing social distancing, staying at home when sick, staying at home when a household member is sick with respiratory disease symptoms, keeping away from others who are sick, and avoiding unnecessary travel or contact with others. Whereas the City Council finds and determines it is in the best interest of the health and safety of the welfare of the city's employees and residents to provide temporary changes to staffing requirements of the City of Peru due to COVID-19. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Peru, LaSalle County, Illinois, home rule municipality as follows. The City Council hereby find as facts the recitals contained in the preamble to this resolution and hereby incorporates them herein by reference. Changes to city staffing. In the interest of health, safety, and welfare of the city's employees and residents, and in the interest of preventing the spread of COVID-19, the following changes shall be made to staffing requirements for City of Peru employees. The mayor, upon the advice and recommendation of city department heads, is hereby authorized and directed to temporarily reduce the number of city employees working in person at the city municipal building and other city department buildings to only those employees deemed essential for city operations and the provision of city services. Those city employees deemed non-essential shall remain available on call and work remotely from home as directed by their supervisors. There shall be no reduction of city police department or city fire department personnel. Please stay healthy. The changes to city staffing requirements provided herein shall become effective immediately from and after passage and approval of this resolution. The changes to city staffing requirements provided herein shall continue until Tuesday, March 31. The mayor, in his discretion, is hereby authorized to extend the duration of the changes to city staffing requirements provided herein for 2 additional 15-day periods. Passed and adopted at a special meeting of the City Council of City of Peru by A and nay roll call vote on this day, March 22, so that's coming a little later. And then we do, where are we at? The resolution establishing a relief fund for the benefit of the Peru residents affected by the impact of COVID-19. Whereas the City of Peru hereinafter is a home rule unit of government pursuant to Article 7, Section 6A, 1970 Constitution. In late 2019, a new and significant outbreak of coronavirus COVID-19 emerged, and COVID-19 is a novel, severe, acute respiratory illness that can spread among people through respiratory transmission and present with symptoms similar to influenza. On January 30, 2020, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak COVID-19 to be a health emergency. January 31, U.S. Health and Human Services, a public health emergency for the United States. March 9th, the governor of the state of Illinois issued a disaster proclamation. March 11th, World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a worldwide pandemic. March 13, 2020, President Trump declared the COVID-19 virus a national emergency. On March 13th, 2020, the governor of the state of Illinois canceled all public and private gatherings of 1,000 or more through the state of Illinois in the duration of the disaster proclamation. March 16th, the governor of the state of Illinois ordered all business in the state of Illinois to suspend service for food and beverage for on-premise consumption and further prohibited all public and private gatherings of 50 or more people throughout the state. March 19th, 2020, LaSalle County Health Department announced LaSalle County resident testing positive for COVID-19. March 20, 2020, the governor of the state of Illinois issued a stay-at-home order effective March 21 at 5 o'clock. Despite efforts to contain COVID, the World Health Organization and Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have declared that it is expected to spread. To prevent the further spread of COVID-19, multiple state and federal agencies recommend mitigation measures, including practicing social distancing, staying at home when sick, staying at home when a household member is sick with respiratory disease and symptoms, keeping away from others who are sick, and avoiding unnecessary travel or contact with others. COVID-19 has had and continues to have a significant impact on the local economy by limiting the services that may be offered by certain city businesses or causing their temporary closure, resulting in layoffs and financial hardship to city residents. In the interest of reducing the economic impact of COVID-19 and protecting the welfare of city residents, the City Council deems it advisable to establish a COVID-19 relief fund, whereby the city may accept donations, services, gifts, grants, loans, equipment, supplies, and other things of value from private, nonprofit, or governmental sources, which the city may then direct and provide to local nonprofits engaged in providing financial relief and assistance to city residents impacted by COVID-19. City Council hereby finds as facts and recitals contained in the preamble to this resolution hereby incorporates them herein by reference. So we can discuss that, and we'll end up making a motion and voting on it. And I'm proud to say that we have $1,000 from myself and my wife. We have $5,000 coming in from, I'm not going to name yet, and we have another $5,000, so we have $11,000. I believe that will swell quite a bit before this is over. I've had other businesses that I've talked to on Saturday that they're definitely on board with it, and as soon as this takes effect, the money will be coming. I ask everybody in this room that's gainfully employed, anything you can do, whether it be $1, $1,000, $10,000, whatever. something that's gonna be very important. There's gonna be a lot of pain coming with this COVID-19, so.
Told that we lost sound again, so they're gonna need to reboot it again.
I think computer systems are maxed out. Is it back?
We're back now?
We're back? Okay, it's back. Okay, now because there has been some relaxation with Governor Order on the Opens Meeting Act, and that is that we can view this and vote on this remotely, but we have 8 of 8 council members here today, so that's not going to happen today because everyone's here. But with that, we also have to follow the protocol for Opens Meeting Act, and I'm happy to say that that's a good thing that hasn't changed. So we're through with the Pledge of Allegiance. I made a few remarks, and now do we have any public comment at this time? Anyone? And if there is a public comment, Finance Director Justin Miller tells me there's something on your device to press and a hand goes up like you're raising a hand or something to that.
Yeah, as long as we can get the microphone.
Oh, did it go out again?
Here we're not having the most clear sound coming through.
Can they type in, their questions to you?
They could certainly do that. You wanna test it out, Mayor?
Okay, I'm receiving quite a few texts here, so to those that are texting me, can you hear me now?
I'm told it is good now,
It's good now?
very clear now.
Okay, so there's a signal, if anybody would like to make public comment, there's a raise hand function. I can unleash their mute button so they'll be able to speak through the.
Okay, everybody that is attending online, they're muted right now. If you would like to make a public comment, there's a raised hand button on your device, and press that and it'll show up. And if not, we'll move on to our resolutions. Okay. Reports City Attorney, ordinances and resolutions.
Yes, Your Honor. First, we have the resolution providing for temporary changes in staffing requirements of City of Peru employees due to COVID-19.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read?
So moved. Second.
Okay, I heard Alderman Waldorf with the motion. Who was the second? Peyton? Okay, is there any discussion that we haven't covered on that? You know, anything for Chief King? We've already talked Chief King, Clerk Bartley. Over on the engineering side, Eric will be in, and Administrative Assistant Carruthers will be in, and we might end up, depending on what happens here, you know, we don't know. Because it's everything's moving so fast, but depending on what happens, we may, that's a decision for Engineer Carls to make on who he has in here, but he has everybody pretty busy. Like I said, when I saw them walk out the door reluctantly on Thursday, they had quite a bit of work in front of them. So we have a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, call roll.
Alderman Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Buffo.
Okay, motion approved.
Next, we have a resolution establishing a relief fund for the benefit of Peru residents affected by the impact of COVID-19.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve this resolution as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second was Alderman Sapienza.
Yes.
Okay, is there any discussion on that?
Yes, Your Honor. one of those 5,000 donations, is coming from our family. Hopefully that wasn't one of the ones you were considering, and there's other $5,000 donations.
No,
out there?
that was one of them. I just
Okay.
wasn't going to say it at this time, because when I said it, we hadn't had a vote on it, and we still haven't, so let's go ahead and vote on this. We have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, a second by Alderman Sapienza.
Your Honor, I have one quick question.
Yes, Alderman Payton?
Quick part, on this resolution for, when it goes to the 503Cs, to this tribute, the criteria being used, is it the same criteria that the township uses? Or are you looking at the tri-county, how they were looking at that? Because I know that through the township, the criteria seems to be a little stringent. Are they going to lax those requirements?
Well, that's a good question. I guess in keeping with a lot of the comments made by the mayor today, the situation is pretty fluid. So I would anticipate agencies that I deal with all the time, like the Tri-County Opportunities, or also known as LIHEAP, where residents receive energy assistance, both winter and summer. They have a pretty consistent policy where they qualify people for the relief. You know, my guess is that those policies will soften a bit to allow a greater group of people to take advantage. I mean, there are people in Peru that participate in that program all the time and qualify all the time right now, and I think there are people in Peru and the surrounding areas that are gonna be impacted, that are new, that have never been impacted by this, economics, that have been gainfully employed and now have a situation where they would qualify or could qualify. So I would anticipate that things will change pretty quickly, and the 501c3s locally will be adapting their policies to try to help as many people as they can. So hopefully we raise a lot of funds and we can bolster that effort and help a lot of people.
Anybody else? Okay, call roll.
Alderman Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Buffo.
Motion approved. Then, do you, Chief King or Chief Burnaby, do you wanna say a few things, or Commander Raymond or Deputy Chief Pishka, about the EOC?
I can address that, Your Honor. As everybody knows, in 2006, Alderman Ferrari was on the council at that time, and certainly post 9/11, every city in America, and I think 2003, President Bush mandated disaster plans be mandated. Peru did their initial plan in 2006, and many of you have voted on some amendments to that over the particular years. The mayor has directed that at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, we will be opening the Peru Emergency Operations Center. That's not a sign for people to panic, or a sign to be overly concerned. It's actually a sign that we're handling this in a very calm fashion. The emergency operation plan, I'm just gonna read one paragraph, so bear with me, and it summarizes why we're gonna open up the plan. It says the difference between normal day-to-day operations and emergency operations must be understood if emergency management is to be effective. During non-emergency periods, operational departments go about their daily business under the direction of the department heads or chiefs. During a period of emergency or disaster, the mayor is held ultimately responsible for the preservation of life and the protection of property as outlined under Illinois state law. Department heads that previously provided direction to their forces continue to do so in time of an emergency. During a major emergency or disaster situation, however, department heads function and coordinate a response from the Peru Emergency Operations Center, which is commonly referred to as an EOC. Department heads and agencies tasked with the response and recovery under this plan make up the Peru Crisis Management Team. These departments and agencies include clearly the executive, which is the mayor, the city clerk's office, the emergency services and disaster agency, fire department, police department, public works, etc. So we, per his direction, Thursday, the credit to have, and I think after the meeting, the mayor is gonna invite everybody to walk through the Emergency Operations Center if you haven't seen it. Jeff King and I, as the directors, have been in contact as early as Monday with police and fire chiefs and emergency management people. And obviously, things have been coming down the pike at the police and fire level of what may be in the pipeline. I'm sure the mayor's received some of those things as well through the IML. So most communities are trying to ramp up and prepare to have their EOC operational. Jeff and I meet twice a year at absolute minimum, and every time a tornado is forecasted, we break out this plan and go, God forbid, what if we have to do this plan? How are we going to do it? This one's a little unique, obviously, so we want to be prepared. We're not overreacting. We're trying to take a proactive, citywide approach to this. So Thursday, Jeff was asked and agreed to get that place organized over there, and by Friday morning, he had a team of technology folks and whatnot, and when you walk through there, you're going to see all the disciplines within the city are going to be fully functional and operating out of that emergency operations center. So all the department heads, human resources, city clerk's office, everybody, our base of operation will be there. We're going to have our community service officer will be there every day from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Jeff and I will be there. If one of us can't be there, Deputy Chief Pishka or Commander Raymond will be there. Jeff will have a fire command person there. We're going to have also the preparation that all calls, non-emergency calls that come to the city will be able to be funneled into that location so we can take telephone reports and that sort of thing. So with that, again, people shouldn't be alarmed or overly concerned that we're opening up the Emergency Operations Center. I think they should be relieved that we're prepared to continue to provide critical and necessary services for the people of Peru, and we'll continue to do that for the duration. Initially, it's 8 to 4 Monday through Friday. We're hoping that those hours can be ramped down, but frankly, we're prepared that they're going to have to be ramped up. So I know that most cities, I'm sure across the country, are trying to figure out where their EOCs are going to be or have already activated them. Many have done that, and per the mayor's directive, that will be at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So
Anything, Chief King? We've got to do something different here.
Oh, okay.
Basically, as Chief was saying, some of the protocols in the fire department have changed a lot. You'll see on a lot of our call out now, personal protective equipment is going to be used. Again, it's not to alarm the community whatsoever. However, I have 22 firefighters, and I do not want any of them to get exposed. If I do, I lose them, and so we're taking every precaution we can. And simple calls to alarms or anything like that, they're going to be required to be totally suited up. So you'll be seeing them in masks, gloves, glasses, their bunker gear. That's a minimum. So you'll see that on RECs, you'll see that on calls to any nursing homes or large areas of people that are going to be together. That's what you're going to see for a response from the fire department. Our calls currently that we receive, we used to split up into two crews. One went to the station, one went to the call. They're going to be all coming to the station now. I don't want anybody with a personal vehicle to where they could possibly be contaminated or anything like that, so they will all be coming to the station now. So all response will be happening out of the fire station until this is complete. But those are the things you'll see out of there, out of the fire station.
Okay, I know there was, someone showed me just yesterday or this morning a Facebook post of 5 or 6 people in white suits walking down a street, and you know the scams are out. So be careful. All of our people will be identified in city vehicles and have city IDs, and you'll know that they're City of Peru. But be careful out there. It's just things happen, and just be careful and be aware. So. Anybody else? Do we have anybody with public comment? And if public comment, press the button somewhere on your device and it'll show a hands up for Finance Officer Miller, and then we can address your public comment.
I have one, Your Honor.
Yes.
So, I think that things are gonna probably change pretty quickly, and I'm not sure the city council meeting every other week is gonna be often enough to keep up with things. Do we wanna continue to operate this way, having a special meeting when they're needed? or do we wanna start just scheduling a weekly or twice a week city council meeting? I don't know what everybody's thoughts are.
What I would like to do is, I don't know, none of us know what the situation's gonna be out here. We don't know. Everybody needs to be as informed as possible, and that's why I put together what I did this morning. I think it's great. We still are under, unless we're in a state of emergency, it's a 24-hour, but we haven't called a state of emergency. Oh, okay, but so we still need a 48-hour notice. 48 hours is only 2 days, so, technically, we could end up meeting here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you know. Absolutely, for what you're saying. I would just ask everybody to take advantage, if you will, of this electronic that we have, because we need to keep people healthy, and, we don't know, nobody knows. It's just, that's what it is. That's the issue of it. So we wanna keep everybody healthy, and I'm not telling anybody, don't take me wrong, I'm not telling anybody to stay away, but as long as we practice the social distancing and there's nothing wrong with using the video. But to answer your question, absolutely. Things are happening so quickly, and some of the meetings we had really opened our eyes on Thursday and Friday. It was amazing, some of the meetings that they were eye openers, and it is what it is. We'll deal with it. The United States have dealt with it for over 200 years, and the city of Peru's dealt with it for 185 plus years, and we'll continue to deal with it. So, but to answer your question, Alderman Radke, absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else?
Do you want to just schedule something, or do you want to just keep going?
We got one public comment on here for.
Okay, so,
Are you guys done? I'm sorry,
yeah, anybody else?
I just wanted to ask the chief, and Jeff could probably answer this. I'm sure you've been in constant contact with the hospital. Somebody asked me the other day, are they setting up an outside testing area?
Obviously, that'd be something that would come from the hospital. That has not happened yet. Obviously, we've been in constant, contact, I think, through phone conversations, and then I think it was Thursday, the mayor, Thursday? Anyway, the mayor,
runs into him, I
asked
remember.
The chief executive, Mr. Hobbs from IVCH, and he came to us, obviously to minimize people going into the hospital, so we had a department head meeting with Mr. Hobbs, and we had those discussions. If that happens, and obviously across the country, proactively, those things are, if it got, God forbid, to that point, the impact on the hospitals, but then obviously the impact on the city of Peru and our emergency services, how we would respond to assist them if that came to that. So that's part of, I think, where the mayor was going with, to have the things in place such as the mall, the Burgers, the big box stores, if we needed the space to assist them in that. So that decision is not, they're not at that point, and maybe we're all praying we'll never get to that point. If it does, all those preparations are well underway.
Anybody else? Do you still have the public comment on?
Yeah, so, bear with me on this. We're gonna, the login ID Ray's iPhone has a public comment, so I'm going to turn him off mute, and he should be able to speak, at that point.
Okay.
He should be off mute, so he can speak.
When you're ready, please give your name.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, this is Raymond Tomaszewski. I was wondering, with the Peru projects for the streets, we're just coming off layoff, and are you guys gonna allow us to start them programs so we can start getting an income?
Under the governor's proclamation issued on, what day was it, Friday? Yeah, they are not halting construction work.
So you guys will be allowing us to start?
We don't know. We don't know. It's probably gonna be a little behind what it was going to be, but right at the moment, we don't know. We do know that the governor did not halt that at this time, construction work. They said the roads and the projects will still go on, so that's a good thing. Keep some people working, but
Yeah, we're
it'll
just starting
probably
up
be
and we kinda
a little bit
you know,
later.
get working, so
Right.
it'd be great if you guys could start that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else then that would like to join public comment?
Nobody else is signaled.
Nobody else is saying, how many do you have on?
At most, we had 60, right now there's 52.
Really?
That's good.
That's great.
I apologize for the microphone issues, I'm not really sure what was going on there, but we'll get
Well, I'm gonna give you, just like with the everything that's happened this week, and, you know, there's a lot more gonna happen, but everything that's happened this week, you're so impressed with the way it happened. You know, with the EOC room going together and the amount of work that was done, the amount of wiring that was run, and it was amazing to see how it all evolved so quickly. And I hope we never use it, but we may. And then with what's going on with Finance Officer Miller, with putting this together on very, very short notice, and it seems to that it's worked pretty good. We had 60 people, that's great. That's great. We're down to 52 right now, so there's no reason for me to just keep talking. So anybody can go in and take a tour through the EOC who hasn't already seen it, and I know, okay, I'm sorry, Alderman Buffalo? I hope not. We have a meeting scheduled for March 30th. Will we be meeting before then? More than likely. Yeah. More than likely. I would hope that they would relax until a state of emergency is called, which we really don't want to do that right now. But, so it's still 48 hour. I would hope that would relax down to 24, if not less. You know, with the electronic, it's out there so quick. Those that view it electronic, they have it in 3 seconds as soon as you hit send. But I don't know what they'll do. But right now, if things go well or don't go well, and we need to do something on Monday, absolutely. But it wouldn't be until Wednesday, 48 hours. So if it happens at 3 o'clock on Monday, it would have to be after 3, and so on and so on. But
Your Honor,
yeah,
Your Honor, since it's so a lot easier to cancel a meeting than it is to schedule one, maybe we should schedule some meetings and.
Well, the challenge with a special meeting is this, the purpose of the special meeting has to be specific. You can't just schedule a meeting to talk about
Right.
an open topic if there happen to be some other business of the city that, you know, today's focus has been on the COVID-19, so that ties in with that directive. So if the special meetings were pre-scheduled with that topic only, that's a doable plan, for sure.
Right, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll check we'll check with Attorney General tomorrow and make sure, you know, because as Clerk Bartley said, it's very well defined on what you can call a special meeting for. This meeting with these 2 resolutions, you know, that was a special defined. Maybe they'll be relaxing some, I don't know. But to have a meeting scheduled, yeah, we'll find out, and then we'll let you know as soon as Clerk Bartley finds out Monday morning. It is difficult to touch base because everybody's doing the same thing, you know, it's amazing. So,
Your Honor, maybe this might work, maybe my council members will agree. As the department heads, you have meetings on a daily basis and figuring out things, would it be possible to conference call in maybe your chairs, your department chairs, and then they could use the phone tree that we put in place a couple months ago for them to filter out that information to the other council members? That would alleviate the special meeting on a preset basis.
that'd still be an open meeting, 'cause there'd be three, with mayor and two, you know. I hate to keep throwing roadblocks, but it's still the law that they haven't relaxed that much. They've relaxed it that you can do it remotely, but they haven't relaxed it that much. So, we're gonna check on it, maybe by tomorrow, and then I'll talk to IML and, you know, talk to Representative Yednock, and they aren't even in session, so they can't pass anything in Springfield. So, we'll see, you know, everything right now is coming out of Governor Executive Order, so we'll try and, we'll do the best we can as quick as possible tomorrow. Well, it's a great idea, yeah.
Well, I think the biggest question to ask the Attorney General, excuse me, is if we can delete the 48 hours.
The only way you can
Right.
release 48 hours, based on current language, is if you declared an emergency. If the mayor declared an emergency, then meetings could be called as soon as the corporate authorities can gather. So, within hours.
We'll go over the emergency declaration a little more tomorrow. We might need to declare it just because we're keeping track of all expenses that are COVID-19 related. And more than likely, it'll be more difficult to receive reimbursement when there is reimbursement without the designation of emergency. So don't be surprised if that doesn't happen tomorrow. But that would be, hopefully, that would be the reason why, just looking at the future with financial reimbursement, because who knows how long this is gonna be? Is it still out?
It's very faint right now.
Okay, well, but, do you have all those notes, Clerk Bartley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll check on that, and then, you know, call in with any other thoughts and ideas, you know, to assemble, to go over everything is great, you know, no doubt about that. And it does happen extremely quickly. So, anybody have anything else?
We did have one more question, and I think the volume's back on now, it's signaling that it is.
Are we back up volume-wise?
Yeah, I apologize, I don't really know what.
Good now, they say.
It's probably the server's not catching up. It's probably, you know.
There was one question regarding the availability of Baker Lake to fish during this time.
The governor's order does not shut down parks. They encourage people to go out and enjoy the fresh air and walk. They do not want you on park equipment because of the surface, the possible spread of by surface, the COVID-19 virus. So stay off the benches, stay out of the shelters, stay out of the playground equipment, which we'll be addressing tomorrow. But go to the park, enjoy the day. Hopefully it's be sunny and warming up. It's only one more week of March, and it's gonna be April, and we'll be cutting the grass here before long, so. A few bright things to.
Oh, yes.
Yes. To answer the Baker Lake question, just don't frequent the facilities, the benches, yeah, and as it says, when we were talking to Tommy Hobbs from IVCH, you know, naturally his notices were coming in, seemed like every 10 seconds, and things were changing on the medical front very, very quickly. But the best news is that we feel that it's the best transmission for the COVID virus, and I'm probably putting that wrong, is through droplets, a sneeze, eyes, nose, mouth. So, you know, be careful out there, and as Alderman Ferrari just commented to me, the distance thing is utmost. It's just be kind to the people alongside of them, because everybody's in the same situation. So, and the food service, there's not a shortage. The toilet paper consumption went up 230% from this time last year. Kidney beans went up like 218% from this time last year. Tuna went up 142% from this time last year. There's not a shortage of food. The difficult portion right now is the transportation. There's not enough trucks that are moving it, but people that are taking more than they need, we're not in the situation, we're being told by the food industry, we're not in the situation that we're running out of anything. So please, take what you need, but don't hoard, which is the word that Governor Pritzker used on Tuesday or Wednesday, because it's there. You see, everybody's been in the supermarket and they've seen people walking out with 2 and 3 baskets completely full. Number one, I don't know how you'd pay for it, but number two, how are you gonna, you don't have the freezer. You won't think that many people have that much freezer space and whatnot. So please, buy what you need, but only buy what you need. So, and anybody else? Nothing?
I would like to thank Hy-Vee and Aldi and all the grocery stores for everything they're doing to keep, their stores stocked and clean. It takes a village, so.
Yeah, you look at everybody stocking shelves and you say, boy, you're a bunch of angels there, because they're really working hard and they're exposed to everybody that's come in and out of these stores. It's people are stepping up. There's no doubt about that, and it's like I said, we'll get through it. Everybody does. We always have, and keep bad things happening to a minimum. Respect your other people and keep the safe distance. Actually, Alderman Ferrari and I are probably about a foot too close together right now. So, anyway, I'll take, so I can stop this discussion if there's nothing else.
Jeff and Sarah and Bob are ready when everybody's done it to give us a quick tour of the
Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Okay, meeting adjourned.